Hey guys, it's Krishantiw with Krishantiw.com, bringing you weekly videos about psychic development and spiritual and personal growth. And this video is about psychic development and spirituality. Mary asked me to talk about operating from the heart chakra. And I think it's a great thing to talk about. And what's interesting as far as my personal journey is concerned is that when I was training to become clairvoyant and learning how to be psychic and to do readings and energy healings for people, I was taught to activate my third eye center. And that's where I would sit, that's where I would do all my work, because that's the home of your neutrality, and that's where you activate your clairaudience and clairvoyance and instant knowing. So I was really good at that. And what I noticed over the years is that my solar plexus would seriously get negatively impacted by other people's stress and trauma in the reading space. If someone was really upset, I could feel it, and it would throw me off. For the rest of the day, I'd feel weak, and it wasn't good. And I learned every psychic protection technique known to mankind, or known to me at least. In fact, I created a whole course about it called Psychic Protection for Empaths and Sensitive People based on all the research that I did. That's on my website if you're interested. But I never came across anything that talked about activating the heart chakra. I'm a very compassionate person, very loving, and I just didn't think about the fact that the heart is so powerful that could help transmute these negative energies that I was feeling in the solar plexus. And before I get into this whole heart chakra thing, if you like this topic and you're into psychic development and spirituality, please subscribe or hit the like button and become a part of this community, because we're creating a platform here for all of us to acknowledge the innate gifts that we have and these abilities that I think are the next step in human evolution, or at least enlightenment. I think more of us are awakening to this, and it's great for us to have a place where we feel safe, where we can talk about it and share our experiences and stories. And if you have questions about this, I'm here. I'm making videos every week, so let me know. Put it in the comments below, and if it's something that I can speak to, I absolutely will. So part of why I think my heart was closed is because my mom struggled with cancer when I was a kid. As growing up with her, sitting with her in her chemo appointments, combing her hair as it's falling out, seeing her scream in pain because it was so painful, and ultimately watching her die. She died when I was 15, and she suffered for quite a few years. So part of my heart closed, and I turned my back on God because I prayed like crazy every night, and it really, really affected me, and it really hurt my heart. In fact, when my baby was born, Ivan, I was so overwhelmed. I was like, I am so afraid to love this person, because what if he dies too? It's, when you've gone through a trauma like that, and I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about if anything like this has happened to you. Of course I'm loving, of course I'm doing my best to be a great mom and caring and compassion, but it was this fear of having your heart crack open and then being devastated. And so that's the level of where my heart chakra has been closed. But a psychic friend said a couple of years ago, I think it's time for you to start getting centered in your heart and to activate it. But I didn't have any literature about how to do it. I had an idea of how it could be done. I mean, a sense of it, but without a guidebook, I wasn't sure. And then recently I found this book called Soul Love by Sanea Roman and Oren. I have all of their books now. They're amazing teachers. I bought the audio course, or the collection of meditations that go with the book. And in that book, they teach you to activate your heart center the way that I now teach people to activate their third eye. It's so cool, and it's so interesting, and from my first-hand experience, it's very, very powerful. This heart center is it's just, it's beyond powerful. It's magnetic, it's bright, it's warm. When I do the meditations, there's like a heat that happens, and they talk about envisioning it as a sun, like a brilliant sun right here. And wow, it is something else. So essentially, I would recommend the book if you want to do it. Highly recommend that. I'd get the meditations. I'd just get on board and do this thing, just like I'm doing it. I'll be doing this for the rest of my life now that I've seen what it can do. But it's like in my clairvoyant meditations, I've got a free one if you want to do it and experience it. It's a grounding and centering meditation. But in my clairvoyant meditations, it's taught to bring your energy back in and call your soul, like call your spirit into your body. What they have you do is call your spirit into your body and then have it centered in your heart chakra. And then you do this activation and light. And if you don't want to read the book, because I know for a lot of people, it's like one more thing to do. What you could do is imagine your soul coming in through your crown chakra and then centering in your heart, and then see it connect and click with your heart chakra, and then imagine like it becoming like a brilliant golden sun. And then another part of the process is to lift what they call unevolved solar plexus energy, which is what I absolutely have. Lift the solar plexus energy up into the heart and let the heart transmute that. Because the solar plexus is where a lot of us come from. I mean, I was coming from there, not unknowingly. Sometimes we don't know where we're grounding ourselves. Like I'll ground myself in my third eye for a reading, but in everyday life, I was probably like getting down into the solar plexus. It's the place where a lot of empaths, will have unevolved solar plexus energy. I mean, I am, and that's what happened to me. But anyway, what was I saying? Now I lost my train of thought here. Solar plexus, it's that part where people's energy comes into your body and your energy goes out. It's like the I am center. And a lot of us empaths will feel other people's stuff. And even if we don't want to, like we'll be next to someone, we'll be feeling great, and then here comes someone who's really anxious or upset, and then we feel it here, and I definitely feel it here. So lifting that up into the heart transmutes it, and it's wonderful. I'm doing this every day, these meditations, and I've noticed that it will activate on its own now. I had an experience recently where I have a shoulder that dislocates, and it's awful, and I thought it happened again. I thought, okay, I need to go to the doctor. And I went, and it was a different doctor, and he came in with a really pissy attitude, and he was having a bad day. I waited for like 45 minutes sitting there in the waiting room, and he was really just not nice, and it was really sassy to me, and I can give sass back. It's just a part of how I am, like my ego. And I was upset, and instantly the heart started getting hot. Like my heart center just got really hot, and then all of a sudden the energy shifted, and he got really nice, and then I got really nice, and we were both being really nice to each other, and he did me a solid and helped me out with something, and I was like, thank you, it was amazing. And we both left feeling totally good and happy. Like it shifted everything, and it activated on its own. Coming from this heart center, I feel that it helps you naturally not be afraid of other people's bad vibes. It helps you to just naturally radiate this magnetic love. It's very unique and different, and it's so powerful. But it's not powerful like you have power over anybody, or you're this like powerful being. It's sort of a power of oneness, and a power of knowing that we're all from the same source, and we are essentially all the same. It's magnificent, but it's very different from the deliberate activation of the heart chakra, and then letting that heart center be the place where you ground and center yourself is fantastic. It's something I'll be continuing to work on, I think probably for the rest of my life, because it helps too with self-love, which I've struggled with, self-esteem stuff. It helps with relationships that aren't fantastic. I don't know that I'm just barely starting out with this, but it does help you relate to people and help people relate to you from a place of compassion and understanding versus like me versus you. It's like all of us together, that oneness. It's so wonderful. I know I keep gushing about it, but it's, as someone that really knows energy and I'm very, very sensitive to energy, I feel a very big difference coming from the heart space. So if you want to learn more about it, I would read that book. And if there are questions you have about it, or if you have experiences of knowing that your solar plexus is off and not really knowing where to center yourself at different times, because it does bring up questions for me. Like, I was trained to, ground into my root chakra. I'm sure all of us, everybody's taken a yoga class. It's like, oh, like root down and get grounded. And, and then there's the activating your third eye. It's like, well, what are you supposed to do when and where and how? If you have things like that you want me to talk about more and research and address, I will. But also I'd love to just hear your experiences, and what you feel like about your heart. Like, do you feel like your heart's open? Do you feel like it's closed? And if so, why? And do you have fears about love? I mean, I feel like as a human, and I've noticed this with clients too, that we feel that love is conditional because love can be given and taken away by other human beings. Most people that I work with often admit to me that the most unconditional love they've ever felt from another sentient being is from a pet, which is, it's sad that humans can't be more loving, but it's true that animals are like angels sent here to help us. Anyway, I'm rambling now, and I don't want to digress and go off onto a whole other tangent, but I want to thank you for sticking with me to the bitter end if you're watching this all the way to the end. And I think that about sums it all up for now. If you want me to talk more about the Heart Center and things that are happening as I'm doing this and, working with all this, let me know. And I think that's it finally. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.